Hey everybody. I'm gonna make a video about my boat. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, um, this is gonna be a little different because most of my videos are either about like LS swapping an old car or rebuilding a transmission in your bathtub or whatever. Anyway, I wanted to do a video about my boat just because it's neat and it's kind of a weird little thing, and I want to talk about it. And it's my YouTube channel, and I can. So this is my 2023 Sea-Doo Switch Sport. And if you're anything like me, if you are looking at a video on YouTube trying to see like, do I want to buy this thing? You absolutely hate it when someone just bought it that day or that week or whatever, and then like, oh, I'm making a video about it as a review and it's great. I don't want that. I want the video after the guy's like beat the crap out of it for a year or two, and then he can tell me his opinion. So that's what this is. I bought this late 23, right whenever the 20, or no, did I? Anyway, I bought it right whenever the new models were coming in. So I got some money taken off of it. Couple things, pros and cons with this that I want to talk about, and Sea-Doo does a great job of marketing these things in a way that if you're not a gearhead and you don't understand engines and tuning and stuff, they're kind of taking advantage of you, and that's what I wanted to point out. And the first thing is this, which is marketing nonsense. This Rotex, it says it's 170 horsepower. This is not 170 horsepower, even though they claim that it is. And BRP even proves that. So let me get into this a little bit. This is the sport model, which claims it has 170 horsepower, which it doesn't. And I'll prove that here in a second. The base model Sea-Doo Switch is, I can't remember if it's 130 or 140 horsepower. The thing is, they're both the exact same engine. You only have two engines that they put in these boats. One's the supercharged version, and then the other one's a naturally aspirated. This is the naturally aspirated. 170 horsepower is the highest they rate the naturally aspirated engine, and in the base model, like I said, it's either 130 or 140, I don't remember. The only difference between those two engines is the tune. That's it. Mechanically, they are exactly the same. It is the software that is in the ECU that changes that horsepower rating. That's all. If you bought a base model and you wanted to turn it into the quote unquote 170 horsepower version, you could take a program software called HP Tuners. The ECUs in these are now programmable by HP Tuners, and you could dump this tune into a base model boat, and it would give you this potential 170 horsepower. Now, the reason I keep putting quotes up by that, so if you look at this, the engine that's in this is the 1630 Ace Rotex, however you pronounce it. That particular motor, its peak horsepower with a factory tune is 170 horsepower at 8,200 RPM. Okay, 8,200 RPM. That's where it's at 170 horsepower. In the United States, we are not allowed to have this boat that revs that high. The U.S. Coast Guard does not want an impeller to be able to spin that fast for safety reasons. So if you live in Canada and you buy this boat, you get an honest 170 horsepower because the red line on that boat's 8,300. And you can actually rev it to get the 170 horsepower out of it. This boat is rev limited to 7,400, which is the highest the Coast Guard recommend. Actually, I think the Coast Guard's recommendation was 7,500. But so this is limited because of Coast Guard. It's not even a law. It's just a recommendation from the Coast Guard. Sea-Doo, at the time when they started making these, really wanted that recommendation of the Coast Guard for whatever reason, and it got them some award or something. So if you want an honest 170 horsepower out of it, which this will not give you right now at 7,400 RPM, you are not getting 170 horsepower. The dyno curves on these things are public on the internet. You can look it up yourself. This thing's got about 150 horse if you look at the dyno curve at 7,400 RPM. So that's first and foremost when you're looking at these. In my opinion, if you're willing to take the boat and tune it, especially being they only have a 1 year warranty. So you're really not destroying the warranty by throwing a tune in it, honestly. Then get the base model and then throw the true Canadian 170 horsepower tune, or you can go more. If you're willing to run these on E85, you can get a little closer to 185 horse out of them. But you can go that route. The supercharged model is exactly the same way. You can get those to 300 horsepower with nothing more than a tune. So don't let the dealer bully you into a bigger engine that is nothing more than ones and zeros in a PCM. HP tuners can crack these ECUs wide open, and there's tune files available on their website that you can just dump into these things. There's also YouTube videos I've seen that walk you through raising the rev limit and increasing timing very conservatively that give you honest 170 horsepower output. So that's complaint number one, is the horsepower marketing nonsense on this. Okay. Number two is this swim platform. If you know anything about a Sea-Doo switch, you know that I shouldn't have this swim platform. You're going to say, "Oh, that's illegal. I shouldn't have it." And the reason for that, this boat is, what is this one? The 14 foot. It's the shortest one they make. 13 foot. I think it's a 13 foot. 13-foot pontoon, seats 5 people. Now, I love it as far as the ergonomics of it and sitting in it and riding in it. That part's great. It's comfortable. I got no problems with that. But I wanted the swim platform. Now, they make 2 different swim platforms. They have a bigger one and a small one. This is the small one. This one is being discontinued. So I was lucky to find this one at a dealer. It was sitting on a shelf. It was actually missing some screws and things that I had to go to the hardware store and get because it's being discontinued. But all the major parts were there. It was just some fasteners that it was missing. So I didn't complain too much. It's really well built. I mean, it's solid. You can jump up and down on this platform and it works well. But why am I not supposed to have it? Well, in the United States, there are rules on boats. So any boat that's over 13 feet long has to have a catalytic converter. This boat at 13 feet, it's actually just like a ½ inch or an inch or so shy of 13 feet in length. So it doesn't have a catalytic converter with this 170 horse motor. As soon as you add that swim platform, now you're past that point and you're supposed to have a catalytic converter. But here's the thing, that responsibility is on manufacturers, not the owner. You as the owner, you absolutely can install that yourself, and you didn't remove an emissions device. You made your boat longer. That has no bearing. So you're not breaking any laws by installing this yourself. But understand, Sea-Doo cannot market that swim platform for this boat. They have to tell you that it won't fit. They sometimes dealers will just outright refuse to sell it to you. So if you want the swim platform and you're running into some issues with a dealer getting one, buy it through Amazon, buy it through eBay. Just go on a website and buy the stupid thing, or just lie to the dealer and say you have a longer boat and get it. The one thing I did notice that was a little tricky, they tried to stop you from installing it. Right where these bars go in, there was these rivets that are in there. I had to drill those out. Those aren't on the other length of boats. It was super easy. But other than that, all the other mounting points are there. Everything just went together the way that it should have. But I did have to drill out 2 super soft rivets to make that go. They tried to add the rivets to stop you from installing it on the shorter boats, but again, easy, not a big deal. So that's another complaint, but that's more about EPA. The swim platform itself is great. I love the thing. We've only taken the boat out 2 times with this platform on it. I installed it over the winter, and it's worked pretty well. Now, one of my other big gripes is inside this thing. Okay, so I've got the panel off for the motor, and it's dirty. So if you've never seen in one of these, what's cool is the floor lifts up and you can get to the engine. This one has the Garmin touchscreen, fish finder, GPS, whatever. Now, before I go any further, let me just say, I really don't understand fishing. I mean, if you guys are looking at boats to go fishing, or looking at this particular boat to go fishing, and you're wanting my opinion of, is it a good fishing boat? Look, I would rather watch paint dry than try to catch a fish. I got nothing. I own a boat, so I can go get drugged down the river on a tube and kneeboard and ski and stuff, and let my kids jump and swim off of it and go fast on water. I have zero interest in catching a fish, but I like this thing Um, this was only available up until like 23 or 24, and then they pulled it. They did away with it, I think up until 24. So they did away with this. You can add it as an add-on, but this came standard with the sport model back whenever they made this year boat. But again, the newer sport models don't have this. You have to add it as a separate add-on. So I got it because this thing can do like engine diagnostics. It has sonar and all this stuff. These things work off, you can work them off of a NMEA 2000 bus network. You can do some pretty cool stuff with them. But the problem is, whenever I got the boat and I took it out into the water, it didn't do any of that. It didn't have sonar. None of it worked. I thought there was something wrong. So I got a hold of the dealer and they thought there was something wrong too. Didn't know. I did a little more digging. Turns out it doesn't come with a transducer. So they put this thing in here and they literally just put it in this nice mount, and mount the thing to it, but there's no transducer. There's also no engine gateway installed. So it can't do engine diagnostics. It can't do sonar. It can't do any of that until you add more crap. So they sell a Garmin transducer, an in-hull transducer through Sea-Doo that's like some ridiculous amount of money. It's like $700. You can go on Garmin's website and buy it. And that's what I actually have this open for. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Right there is the in-hull transducer that I installed. Um, I at first tried to install it with marine epoxy, and I absolutely couldn't get it to seal. So now it's installed with RTV and some Flex Seal, and it works way better. I know you diehard boat guys are probably going to laugh at me for that, but I couldn't get marine epoxy to work. And the thing is, I think it's because of the fiberglass that Sea-Doo uses on the inside of their hulls. There's a lot of jet ski guys that have had problems with trying to get epoxy to stick to whatever the hell this is. RTV seems to work a lot better, or some kind of silicone or something to work better. So with that installed, now I have full sonar, dual beam sonar and all that, and it works really well. I'm really happy with it as long as I can keep antifreeze or water in that little cup for the in-hull transducer. I just installed the Yacht Devices, which sounds so pompous to say, but I just installed the Yacht Devices, that's the name of the company, engine gateway, and that allows me to have engine diagnostics on this too. So just because the Garmin, if you're getting a switch that comes with this screen, just understand there's like a whole bunch of stuff it can't do unless you're willing to spend some money, right? Another one that aggravated me about this was the radio. Now, I have this little weird round radio that's Power Sports radio I got online. Sea-Doo wanted to charge me $700 for a little round radio similar to this and two speakers. This thing was like $40 on Amazon, and I bought some cheap speakers. I actually put in a little MTX Power Sport amp, and I have four speakers. I have one here, another one on the other side of the podium around here in the factory speaker locations. Then I bought these. I bought this one and painted it to match the Sea-Doo gray. And then I have another one just like this tucked away in there. So I've got four speakers, and then they have LEDs in them that light up because I like that sort of nonsense. And then I added a radio switch here instead of it being ignition controlled. That way I can run just the radio off the battery if I'm just sitting with an anchor out and the kids are swimming. I can have the key off, and the only thing that's draining my battery is the radio. So that was kind of cool. Then I added another switch for the little LEDs on the speakers itself. So that was annoying. No radio on a sport model. The Garmin doesn't do anything. It just has GPS. That's all it can do when you first get it. I tried to, Garmin says you get free like maps of your waterways. I tried to do that. That doesn't work because the waterways that I'm in, Garmin doesn't give you maps of. I'm in the Clarion River in Pennsylvania. I'm also in the Allegheny River, and it doesn't give you either of those. So that's annoying. The top, the Bimini top, they call it, this top here. I mean, look, I'm a ginger, so you put me in the sun, it's like a fork in a microwave. So I appreciate anything you can put over my head, but it's obnoxious. It's annoying to raise up and down. It's even more annoying to lower it. and I realized at any time I could unbolt it and remove it. But it does work. It does offer a lot of shade, and it is reasonably secure when you're flying down the river at 35 miles an hour. It doesn't. It now it does make some noise. It's not quiet. It rattles a little bit. When you're in motion with it, but it does work. It does keep the sun off you, and it doesn't catch wind. It's designed well aerodynamically. It doesn't catch a lot of wind and hold you up or anything. But it's just something to note. If you're not as afraid of the sun as I am, I would get the base model and get it without the top, because the top adds quite a bit of money to the price of this thing. The only reason that was my goal originally was I was going to buy this thing as a base model, and I was going to add the things I wanted. Like I really like that seat. I was going to add that and maybe like another one of these seats or something to the base model, and then just throw a tune in it from HP Tuners and have my 170 horsepower base model. But they took 6 grand off the price of this thing right off the bat, because it was a last year model, brand new on the lot, but they were getting the new models in, so they cut 6 grand off of it. So something with the dealers on this that'll aggravate you too. You'll notice that the only switch boats that will be at your dealer that they just get in will either be the cruise or the sport. You will never see a base model sitting at your dealer unless someone ordered it specifically and didn't pick it up. Then they'll sell it. It'll be they're trying to get rid of it. Dealers don't have incentive to get base models and sell them, so you won't see them. And so if you want a base model, you've got to go in and order it. And that's something to think about. Is it cheaper to order the base model, or is it cheaper to wait to the end of the season and get one they're trying to get out of inventory to get the new ones in? So I lucked out that I got the sport cheaper than I could get a base model for. I didn't give it. I didn't care about the 170 versus 130 horsepower thing, because I knew that's just a tune. But I did want the Garmin. This didn't come in the base model at that time. Which, as far as I know, this doesn't come in the sports anymore either. In the shorter boats, I think it does still in the longer cruises. But on this model, the 13-foot sport, you can't. This doesn't come standard anymore. I did want this. I didn't care about the top at the time. I'm glad I have it, but it is noisy and it is a pain in the ass. And then I wanted the extra seats. You get an extra seat and some cup holders and some things with the sport that you didn't get with the base model. You can add them, but that's expensive. The more crap that you add, it gets expensive. So realistic performance out of this thing, a dealer will tell you this thing's a rocket, and it's not. It's peppy. I mean, if you're used to a ski boat, it's definitely performance wise in between a ski boat and a normal pontoon boat. It has no problem pulling a tuber, no problem pulling a wakeboarder or a kneeboarder. If you're into skiing, it's going to be a little slow for you. I know most skiers want to be pulled around 35, and that's with no weight in it, it'll do 35. So it does have some issues with speed. The dealer told me it would do 40 all day long, and it won't. 37 or 38 is the fastest I've been able to get it to go, and that was just with me in the boat and nothing else. That was with the top up, which I've never actually driven it with the top down. So, which would be kind of hard because you'd be blind. I mean, it'd be like right in your field of view, unless you unbolted it and removed it, which it does unbolt. You can remove it right there, but on each side. So 37-ish miles an hour. Now, there is a way around that. There is a company that sells an aftermarket prop that does increase the speed. You can also play with that tune. That higher RPM of the Canadian tune will allow it to go closer to 40, probably at quite a bit past 40 miles an hour. So I have not tuned this yet. That's my next step. I just need to get the points credits for HP tuners and tune it. I just haven't done it yet. I don't ski much. I'll kneeboard and tube. So at 37 miles an hour, or I don't even go that fast. 30 miles an hour is more than fast enough for that kind of thing. So for us, it's not a huge deal to tune it at this time, but I'm going to. Just on base principle, I have to tune it. It has different sport modes that are kind of cool. You can cycle through like economy, sport, base, whatever mode. It has a ski mode that I don't know how to use, so I just don't use it. Other than that, the other modes work pretty good. The trim you set with these up and down arrows, and it gives you indication on the screen there of where your trim's at, and it works pretty well. Um, Something else I want to show you real quick about trim on these, and I'm probably going to make you sick because I'm going up and down a ladder while trying to make a YouTube video. Ooh. How funny would that be if I fell on this video and you guys could laugh at me? That'd be hilarious. I'd still upload it. So these are your assists for getting up on plane, and they're adjustable. And you can see the adjustment holes here. You can adjust where that goes. It comes in this middle one from the factory, and if you move this arm out, it helps you get up on plane faster. Okay. It detracts from handling just a little bit. The further you go this way, the worse it will handle, but it'll make it so it can get up on plane faster. I went one notch. It made a significant difference to how easy it could get up on plane. I didn't really notice any difference in handling. Not really. They do handle. I mean, the thing handles like a go-kart on water. It's unreal what you can do with this thing handling wise. Like, you see a stick or a log or something floating, you can zip right around it where other boats just can't. So that is really awesome with this thing. The responsiveness of the handling is unreal. It kind of takes a little getting used to. I say it's like a zero turn on water because you can hit that reverse lever. When you're sitting still, you can hit the reverse lever, cut the handlebar all one way, and then hit the throttle, and you'll just sit there and spin perfect circles, which is kind of cool when you're waiting at the boat launch to get your boat out, and there's like a long line of people, and you just sit there and start spinning circles till your kids are ready to puke. It's like riding the Gravitron whenever you were a kid and you're at the amusement park. That's kind of what it feels like, only it's on water, so if you puke, it's just going in the river and it doesn't matter. So that's kind of cool. But I mean, I guess I would say this. Overall, these things aren't cheap. They're kind of expensive. And they're neat because they're modular. You can modify them and all that. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would buy it again. The motor is rock solid. The design is good. It holds everything. There's a compartment or a space for everything. Okay. And you can even see I've got my knee board wedged up here in the front, and it holds it. Maybe you can't see it right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, I got a knee board wedged in there that's like the perfect spot for it. Oh, this thing. The Sport came with this bag thing. It holds ropes in here, which that part's fine. I got no problem with that. It's got these straps that are supposed to and they snap in up here. It's supposed to hold a tube or a knee board or a wake board or something to the back. It's virtually useless. You can't strap anything to it. The instructions don't show you actually how it's supposed to work, or how you're supposed to strap anything to it. It's very gimmicky and just doesn't work. Now, it does a really good job of holding my ropes. So I've got two different ropes in here, one for the tube and then one for the knee board, just stored away in that. That works great. But as far as using it to attach a tube to, I mean, it'll work if you put a ton of ratchet straps on with it. That's what I did with that one. I used those straps and then a ratchet strap to hold it on. That worked okay. This is the post for a rope for pulling tubes or knee boards. If you're going to pull a skier or a wakeboard, you need the ski pylon. Okay. It attaches here and sticks up higher. I do not have a ski pylon. On this boat, all we do is tube and knee board, so I don't need it. It's probably something I'll buy eventually, but I'm just not, I just don't care at the moment. Also, that's it for my major gripes. It does have some weird maintenance things going on. To change the oil is real strange. You have to pump the oil out from the top. It's not hard. It's just weird. You have full access to the engine in this thing because of those floor panels that pop off. So much so that even if you wanted to do work to the engine, like you want to swap a cam or something, you could do it with the motor in the boat. It'd be a little awkward, but you could do it. Which is really nice that you have that kind of access to everything in there, and you're not restricted, because it's an inboard. You do have consumables in there, the consumable electrodes that you got to change. You do have a grate up in the front where the water comes into the impeller. You got to change that every now and again because it'll get chewed up. One thing that I wish a dealer would have told me, and I had to learn the hard way. If you are putting this in a dirty mud puddle of a river, you might want to consider a different boat. I'm not telling you not to, because I boat in a pretty dirty river, Clarion River, which is hilarious because Clarion literally means clear. But the Clarion River has a lot of debris floating in it, and that's because of our weather. And there's trees right up against the edge of the water and things like that, and jerks that cut brush and just dump it in the river. But what happens is, because it's a jet boat, debris gets sucked up into the inlet. And it's like, when that happens, if you're flying down the river at 30 miles an hour, all of a sudden your inlet gets plugged up, and it's like you just hit a brick wall. The whole boat just stops. It's making all kinds of noises and it's growling at you and not happy, but you're not moving anywhere. It has a system in it that reverses the flow of water, blows all that crap out, then you can get going again. And it works really well. Sometimes you have to do it twice, but it does work very, very well in blowing out that debris. And it's not necessarily the boat's fault mechanically, it's just, it's the way it's designed. So if you were taking this on like Lake Erie or Lake Tahoe or something like that, this thing would do great. On a river like the Clarion, you've got a lot of debris everywhere, and sometimes it's a struggle. It's definitely something to keep in mind, that if you're putting a boat in and it just rained real hard the day before and there's going to be a lot of trash in the river, you might not want to go that day, because you're going to be fighting with that inlet. You're going to be blowing out that inlet every 10 minutes. In order to blow that out, you have to stop the boat, shut it off, put it in that special mode, run it for 10 seconds in that mode, then start the boat back up again and go. It's not a real, it's not a long process, but it is a process. One last complaint, and I'll let you guys go, is the battery. Sea-Doo offers an upgraded battery kit for this thing that's stupid expensive. It's literally a $20 battery box. Um, it's literally like a $20 battery box and some cables, and you pay like some stupid amount of money for that, and then you have to buy a size 34 AGM battery. This only uses AGM batteries. The charging system in this boat is for AGM. If you put a lead acid core battery in it, you will undercharge the batteries. If you use a regular trickle charger on this, you'll fry the battery that's in it. So that's something to keep in mind. If you've never used a larger AGM battery, they're a little picky. So I actually just had the battery in this go bad. Always take a jump pack with you in these boats if you're using the stock battery. So what you should do, and this is what the next upgrade I'm going to do, I'm going to take a cheap battery box. I just bought one from Summit Racing. I have lots of copper cable laying around, and I'm going to mount the battery. They actually give you a spot to mount the battery in the front of the boat. The normal tiny little AGM battery that comes with it, the little jet ski battery that comes with it, it's mounted like midway in the boat, but there's a spot for one up here in the front. And you just bolt down the battery box, run the cables over, and hook it up. So I'm going to put either a 31 or a 34 size AGM battery in it, and then not have this crappy little jet ski battery. I lied. I'm going to tell you something else too. The anchor, it's cool how it stows in here in this little spot. Don't buy the Sea-Doo anchor, because it's kind of junk and it's too lightweight for this weight of a boat. Go to Walmart, buy their 15-pound anchor that has like the pivoting head on it. It's 35 bucks, and then get the anchor lead, and it fits right in the front of the switch compartment. You don't need the Sea-Doo like $300 anchor. The $35 one at Walmart works great, and it's 15 pounds, which is exactly what you would want weight-wise for this. So I put chain on the end of mine. You don't have to. I actually lost my first Walmart anchor because I just used rope, and it, got chewed up somehow on a rock, and I lost the anchor. So this one, I put a little bit of chain on the end of it, and I've, so far so good. But okay, so now I'm done. I was done with the anchor. So all in all, I'm happy with the boat. It was expensive for me. It was a big purchase, but it's helped me. I've had a lot of fun with the kids with it. My two boys now have their boating license because of this thing. My daughter's going to get hers here shortly. They've all been driving the boat and dragging me down the river, and we've all been having a lot of fun with it. But again, it has its drawbacks. It has its little quirks and little things that I wish someone could have could have told me, but when I bought this thing, there weren't a lot of YouTube videos out about them. So that's it. All right. Have a good one. Lied. I'm not done. One more quick thing. Earlier in the video, I'd said this is a 23. I was wrong. This is a 24. So 2024 Sea-Doo Switch, I bought it at the end of last year when the 25 models were coming out. The 25 model Sport does not, the shorter Sport like this, does not have the Garmin sonar in it. But at that time, the longer ones, like the 16 foot, they did. They came with it standard. I don't know all the sizes and all the details, but this one's a 24. So sorry about that. Just clearing that up.